not taking advantage of, the play call and executing. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. You don't lose like that without everything going bad. Yeah, I haven't played that bad all year. Couldn't find that spark.
Following the Kansas City Chiefs' crushing 40-22 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 59, the mood in the locker room was somber. Players sat in silence, grappling with the disappointment of a season that had once held historic promise. Fans, too, were disheartened as the Chiefs' aspirations for a monumental free agency had crumbled before their eyes. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes took accountability, admitting that his turnovers had been pivotal in the game's outcome. Meanwhile, star tight end Travis Kelce sat quietly at his locker, the weight of the loss etched on his face. The Eagles' defense had effectively neutralized him, leaving him without a single catch, an unfamiliar and humbling experience for this seasoned athlete. As post-game analysis flooded the media, some critics turned their attention to Kelce's personal life, specifically his high-profile relationship with pop superstar Taylor Swift. Online trolls speculated that his focus had been compromised, blaming Swift for the Chiefs' defeat. However, what the public didn't see was the unwavering support Swift had provided throughout the season. Since their romance began in 2023, she had been a steadfast presence, attending games and cheering him on from the stands. As the chaos of defeat swirled around him, Kelce found solace in Swift's unwavering presence. Waiting outside the locker room, her eyes met his, conveying everything words could not. With a gentle yet resolute expression, she stepped forward, her voice filled with understanding. "But I want you to remember something," Taylor Swift said gently, her voice breaking the stillness of the hallway. Travis Kelce gazed at her, his emotions raw, disappointment, frustration, and an overwhelming sense of failure evident in his eyes. "You are not defined by this game," she continued, her tone firm yet kind. "I think you're a champion because of who you are off the field, not just what you do on it. Your value isn't determined by a scoreboard or by what other people say." Standing there, Kelce absorbed her words. In the high-stakes world of professional sports, where success is measured in wins and losses, her perspective was a revelation. "You've shown heart, leadership, and resilience," Swift went on. "And no final score can ever take that away. Those are the things that truly matter." The sting of such a public and personal defeat left Kelce momentarily speechless. But Swift's unwavering belief in him was a comfort he hadn't realized he needed. With a voice full of emotion, he finally managed to say, "Thank you, Taylor. I don't know what I'd do without you." Her warm smile cut through the darkness of the moment. As they walked out of the stadium hand in hand, the world outside buzzed with speculation and analysis. Sports commentators dissected Mahomes' uncharacteristic mistakes, while headlines debated potential roster changes for the Chiefs. But in their own space, away from the noise, Kelce and Swift found solace in each other. In the days that followed, they stepped away from the public eye, taking time to reflect, not just on the season, but on the challenges they had faced and the lessons they had learned. One evening, as they sat on the veranda of Kelce's Kansas City home, Swift turned to him thoughtfully. "You know," she said, "I've been thinking a lot about how we respond to failure. In my career, I've had albums that didn't do well. I've had albums that received negative reviews," Swift continued, "and I battled personal struggles in the public eye," she added. "A chance for you and the team to reevaluate and come back stronger. The way you rise after falling matters more than the fall itself." Kelce had always taken pride in his resilience, but hearing it framed this way struck a deeper chord. He reflected for a moment, then answered softly, "You're right. This is just one chapter in a much bigger story. It's not the end." Swift's eyes gleamed with pride as she smiled. "Every great story has struggles and setbacks. That's what makes the victories meaningful." The electrifying energy of Super Bowl 59 filled the Keysers Superdome in New Orleans. Under the leadership of star tight end Travis Kelce, the Kansas City Chiefs were poised to make history by securing their third consecutive championship. Among the roaring crowd, Taylor Swift was a beacon of hope for fans. Her presence symbolized her unwavering support for Kelce, their relationship well documented and adored by many. She exuded her signature style, pairing high-top white boots with denim shorts and an oversized white jacket. Around her neck, a ruby encrusted a subtle yet meaningful tribute to Kelce. Seated in her suite, she was flanked by close friends Ashley and Ice Spice. Her gaze remained locked on the field, anticipation evident in her expression. Expectations were high, but the game took a turn as the Chiefs struggled to contain the Philadelphia Eagles' relentless offense. As the minutes passed, it became clear that victory was slipping away. When the Eagles scored another decisive touchdown, the energy in the stadium shifted. Swift's cheers quieted, her excitement dimming into concern. Her once radiant expression faded as the reality of the Chiefs' defeat set in. The stadium erupted in cheers. Taylor Swift glanced at her phone, perhaps searching for a distraction, perhaps for a moment of peace, but she found neither. Around her, a mix of elation and despair filled the air as the final whistle blew, sealing the Eagles' 40-22 victory. Swift knew how much this loss meant to Travis Kelce. She stood motionless, her face carefully composed, a mask of quiet empathy and disappointment. In the locker room, Kelce sat on a bench, his head lowered, his jersey clinging to him, damp with sweat and defeat. Some teammates spoke in hushed tones, while others engaged in subdued exchanges, their voices barely rising above the stillness. The door creaked open, and Swift stepped inside, her presence a gentle disruption in the solemn atmosphere. For a moment, Kelce couldn't speak. He looked up and met her gaze, no longer the confident, charismatic athlete the world knew, just a man grappling with the pain of loss. Swift moved toward him, her steps deliberate. She crouched beside him, resting a reassuring hand on his knee. Kelce let out a hollow laugh, one devoid of humor. "You can say that again," he muttered, his voice raw with emotion. Swift gave his leg a gentle squeeze, her voice growing steadier, filled with conviction. "Travis, you led your team with heart and passion. You gave it everything you had. That's what truly matters." A rueful smile ghosted across his lips as he shook his head. "I feel like I let everyone down." Swift stood and extended her hand, her tone firm yet tender. Let's go hand in hand, they left the locker room. The crisp night air was a sharp contrast to the sweltering intensity of the game. As they neared the parking lot, a group of Eagles fans spotted them and erupted into loud cheers and taunts. Swift froze, caught off guard by the hostility. Kelce instinctively stepped in front of her, his protective stance immediate. "Hey, come on," he barked, his voice cutting through the chaos. "Respect yourselves." The fans continued their heckling, but Swift remained composed, meeting their stares with quiet resilience. Kelce turned to her, concern softening his features. A small smile played on her lips as she nodded. "I'm all right." The sounds of the crowd faded behind them as they reached their car. Inside, Swift leaned her head against the window, her thoughts swirling. The low hum of the engine filled the silence as Kelce started the car, navigating the vibrant post-game streets of New Orleans. After a long moment, Swift turned to him. "I want you to know I'm proud of you, not just for today, but for everything you do." Kelce's eyes softened as he glanced at her, sincerity in his voice. They drove in comfortable silence, letting the weight of the night settle between them. Then, with a teasing lilt in her voice, Swift spoke again. "I think we both need a really good meal." Kelce chuckled, the warmth returning to his voice. "I know just the place." As they settled into a cozy corner of a familiar restaurant, the outside world seemed to fade away. In that moment, it was just the two of them, finding solace in each other, a steady anchor in the midst of the world's madness.